Okay, welcome back, U.S. Virgin Islands Chess, ISV International, and the U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation community. Guys, we are back today live in the playlist, and we are going over another Stockfish Level 8 battle, round 6. And in this game, guys, your host is per usual against Stockfish Level 8. If you check out some of the other videos in the playlist, you'll see that we have a number of openings that we have challenged the Stockfish Level 8 engine with on a number of occasions now. Guys, like I said, this is the 6th round. Hi guys, it's your host Colin Heim. I'm out chilling here in Frederiksted, beautiful, lovely Frederiksted town. It's really nice out here. I'm chilling by the pier, having a nice day. Today's October the 25th, and we are going into the 4th quarter of the year, guys, 2022. Next year is going to be 2023. And let's begin with the lecture, what we had against Stockfish Level 8. So guys, as per usual with my videos, your host Colin Heim, I play one game against Stockfish Level 8. I open up my device, I say let's play Stockfish 8 at the highest level, and let's try to draw. Let's do the best we can to set the example, learn from these videos, and learn how to draw at will with the Philidor defense, the French defense now in this game that we're going to go over today. E4, E6, Knight F3, H6. So let's get right into it now, guys. Let's go to the analysis board. So we go for the open French game, E4, E6, Knight F3, and H6. This is really hilarious by Stockfish Level 8, guys. I don't know the exact name per se of what H6 is as a response to what seems like a normal French game, but let's continue with Knight to C3. That was played by myself. So D5, guys, and we're not so familiar with the French defense in my videos, guys. In my FIDE Online Arena games from 2021, I have a lot of games with the French defense, with the exchange variation, with the advanced French. So we don't go too much into it. Mostly Sicilian defense, mostly Rui Lopez, like the mainline stuff that all the top FIDE grandmasters are playing at the moment around the world. So it's nice to get a French game in, and also to show how to get a draw against a 3200 plus level computer, Stockfish Level 8 top engine. So let's continue, guys. E captures on D5, principled opening. This is all known. E captures on D5, D4, Knight F6. Bishop F4, so now we're transposing into the London system with the D4 and D5 pawns facing off against one another, facing off against each other in this position. Guys, bishop to E7, and I like bishop to C5 check after bishop to E7. Stockfish Level 8 loves bishop to E7 for some reason. I mean, it loves it to the point where it plays it in almost any line. It plays bishop to E7 almost immediately in the Philidor defense. E4, E5, Knight F3, D6, bishop C4, bishop E7. And I'm not quite sure why it goes for the Hungarian defense in the end. I'm not sure why it's always emphasizing bishop E7, but it's just something that I think not only does it feel comfortable with, but it knows a lot of theory revolving around the dark squared bishop. So that's one of the reasons why I continue to play Stockfish nonetheless, guys, Level 8, is because I find that when I play with white pieces against Stockfish Level 8, I tend to do a better job because I have a better grasp of things. And plus, I'm not going to play a 3200 plus level engine that beats chess.com's #1 since last year with just black pieces. I'm going to need the white pieces to get the job done, okay? So guys, this is round 6. If you've just joined us, we're about 4 minutes in to this video. This is round 6, Stockfish Level 8 on October 25th with your host Colin Heim with ISV, #1 educator and operator for the U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation. And guys at ISV, if you've checked out this video today and you want to look at some other videos and other playlists today on my channel, my YouTube channel, please check out the Olympiad playlist channel with Connor, Justin, David, Nyan, and David, and check out their games from the #1 chess tournament on the planet, the biannual Olympiad that was held in Chennai, India just this year. Bishop E5, guys, let's continue with the game now with bishop to D7 was what Stockfish played immediately. Not something like knight from B to D7, that doesn't work. So bishop to D7, and now knight from B to D7 in the end with the recapture. Short castle is played by myself in this position, guys, and now let's kind of get a taste for the position. I'm kind of really hungry for this French defense. I haven't played against a French defense. It's interesting that H6 was a candidate move on the second time around for Stockfish level 8 black. I don't know exactly why it played h6, but it tends to play these kind of strange moves. Here's another interesting move, is knight to f8. I said to myself, okay, it's move 9. There haven't been any takebacks yet. What do I need to do in this position to solidify the center? And maybe try to get the queens off the board, stick to the normal criteria, consolidate pawns, you know, go after his pawns, go after his center. Make sure that this black structure is not anything that is too challenging, unnecessarily challenging, and how to avoid too much semi-pawn loss, how to avoid. These are the things that you guys should be thinking about when you play with white pieces against the top level engine. This is something that you guys should be shooting for when you go for a draw or even potentially a win in some or most cases, right? Everybody wants to win a chess game, but that doesn't mean that we're going to, right? So let's continue with knight to g6 and bishop to g3, just dropping back the dark squared bishop, the London system bishop. Okay, so guys, we had a French defense and we transposed into a London system in this game. Very shocking. It's something, it's not shocking, I'm just being facetious, guys. It's something that happens quite often. We do see transpositions from French defenses and Caro-Kanns. We see them transpose into London systems on occasions. In this case, yes, I decided to play bishop f4 because I just think it's best in this line. So c6, bishop to e2, knight to e2, excuse me, guys, going back, short castles, and knight to f5. Well, in this position, I like my pieces. I like how I'm coordinating, and I like how the battle Stockfish is saying, well, we're going to go for a battle here on the king side, and we're going to see who's best after a number of moves here. We're going to get to move 15 now after knight captures on f4 and bishop f4. So dark squared bishops and one set of knights is off the board. Stockfish decided to continue after the exchange of minor pieces with rook to e8 now, and now we have a battle maybe at this point with the now, yes, the e-file, the e-file. Guys, it's always about being on time in chess, right? We say now. It's all about time and space. How do you guys do in time and space? And just good moves, right? Good moves are the only thing that matters on a chessboard. That is the last famous words of Robert James Fisher. Everyone, please just look to play the best moves when you can, and if you find a good move, always find what a better move. Correct. Rook to e8, and let's continue. Rook to c1 played by myself. Now Stockfish going for an exchange of bishops, and I say, okay, well, that's fine. Bishop d6, queen d6, and the follow-up is c4. So guys, thank you for participating and watching today and getting something out of this today. Again, Colin Heim, US Virgin Islands Chess, ISV International. So c4 is what we want to follow up with here. And guys, maybe let's look at this from Stockfish level 8's perspective for just a moment. If you guys had black pieces in this position and it was your move to play after c4, what would you guys play? Let's move 16. And what would you play in this position? Well, good. If you guys found rook captures on e1, that is the move to play. And Stockfish went for rook to e1 immediately anyway, without any thought. And I recaptured with the queen. Not recapturing with the knight, guys, because we still got to keep an eye on the center. And moving the knight back from f3 to e1 kind of gives up the center, so we don't want to do that. As a result, guys, rook to e1, going back, rook captures. Let's just go back to this line before c4 for a moment and try to understand why, guys, your instructor played rook to c1. Well, guys, you got to play rook to c1 in this position after rook to e1, okay? You got to get your rook to a good file in this position, so that's exactly what I went for. Getting to a good file and then continuing the game. Bishop to d6, queen d6, and c4 like we talked about. Good, so we went over it twice so you guys can get the line. How we transpose from the opening into the middle game, and this is how the top level engine and the human cyborg, top educator in the USVI is doing, guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. And let's continue. What's the follow-up, guys, after queen to e1? D captures on c4, rook captures on c4, and queen to d7. This is move 20. And I'd like to thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you're getting a lot out of this today. We're almost 10 minutes in. Let's continue. Queen to d7 and rook to c2. Well, guys, in this line, I started making takebacks at move 20, and I wanted to go for knight to e5, but knight to e5 doesn't work because rook to e8 is too strong, and my king is still all blocked in there and trapped on the king side. I can't really go anywhere. The pawns are still in front of my king, and I cannot make any way out. So I do have some back rank issues, and Stockfish level 8 knows the truth of that, so he's going to try to obviously exploit it as my opponent. That's his job. Rook to c2 dropping back then, and rook to e8 now going after e1 queen. Rook to e2, sliding over now and blocking the attack. And guys, if you had the black pieces again in this position, your Stockfish level 8, what would you play in this position if you guys had the black pieces? And feel free to continue, pause the video, set this up over the board. This is the set the video up challenge, set the play up over the board challenge. Guys, be the engine. Well, in this position, Stockfish just captured naturally. Rook captures on e2 and queen captures on e2, and the game continued. So let's continue with what happened in the game. Sorry, I got a little stretched out there, guys, and went right to the end game. Let's go back to looking at the game from my perspective now. So kind of going back in time here. Let's go back to, well, let's move forward now to where we need to be in this game. Okay, so that's what came later. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we have queen e1 and we have d captures on c4, rook captures. We talked about rook to c2 dropping back after queen to d7 and rook to e8 and now throwing up the rook. That was the whole point of rook to c2, guys. I made that maneuver here just so I could drop back and then block the attack on the queen because I kind of guessed that that was what was coming, what Stockfish had for me here. So rook to e2, queen e2, and queen to f5, and this is a typical move, top-level engine move, just getting the queen to a better square, putting pressure on my knight, putting pressure on my queenside pawns, getting ready to throw a check. There's still back rank issues, similar to what we brought up just a moment ago in a previous line. So guys, this is like totally engine status. This isn't anything that's like not to be anticipated. I was definitely anticipating a queen thrust by Stockfish 8 here with black, and I did not know how to respond until I came up with something like a3. a3 was all I could come up with. I tried h4, I tried some knight maneuvers, I tried some queen maneuvers. None of those worked, so as a result, I was very surprised with, after a3, that Stockfish's #1 choice to play, #1 candidate move was just queen to e4, and offering an exchange of queens. I went for it anyway. I did not want to settle for anything other than Stockfish offering me the queens, and I proceeded after knight to e4 to get my king to f1, and now moving over after f6, king e2, and h5, knight d2, knight takes, and king to f8. And if you guys have reached it to this position at 12.5 minutes, congratulations, guys. It's your host Colin Hunt with ASV International, East Virgin Islands Chess, East Virgin Islands Chess Federation, guys. And let's continue now on this beautiful Tuesday. After king to f8, I want you guys to set this position up over the board right now with black or white pieces. Try to play each side, and let's analyze the position. Well, guys, if you analyze this position and you see that white has an isolated d-pawn as a result from this French defense transposing into a London system, well, congratulations, guys. You have noticed something interesting and something that we should point out about this position. Whereas black's pawns are just perfect. Yes, b4 was the move played in this position after king f8. So 29 b4, and black has better pawns. White has an isolated pawn, but it shouldn't be too much trouble because after black, yes, gets his king forward with king to e7, yes, now I'm ready to get my king closer into the battle, and that's exactly what I did with my white king. King to c3 and g5, h3. Now, well, 3 pawns versus 3 pawns, and this is not anything to be worried about here on the king side. The only thing that has to be dealt with properly is the queen side, and let's get into some tactics now. So at this moment, Stockfish said, okay, now it's time to play g4, and it's going to give me a choice to either capture or push the pawn. The correct move, guys, is to capture in this position. So in this position, guys, if your opponent pushes g4 against you and it's 3 pawns against 3 pawns in this instructive position, the right move is to capture. After he captures with the h-pawn, king to d3 comes, moving the kings closer to one another. This is a very instructive moment, so I suggest we take it quite slowly as we move to the end of this video, guys. We'll go for about another couple minutes here. a7, a6. King f4, king f6, and now the kings are faced off against one another at the king side of the board. Here comes a4, and we notice that, yes, as per this game, the problem has always been the d4 pawn, the isolated d4 pawn, and now after b5 comes, guys, I want you to find the best move in the position for white after I give everyone a couple of seconds. Find the best move. I give you 10, 20, 30 seconds, however long you need. Pause the video, do what you need to do. Well, the best move in the position is not to capture, guys. If you just found a5, that is correct. So no captures here, no, just push the pawn, and that is going to be good enough for you, just a5. Congratulations if you guys found a5, good stuff. Okay, so we have king to e6 as a follow-up, king to g5, king to d5, and king to f5. Guys, a real surprise in this endgame. Wow, so this is a very desperate situation. This is definitely like a Mexican standoff. As we evaluate the position, if you guys don't have a sense of what this is going to turn out to be in the next 10 or 15 moves, I want you guys to try to pause the video and find out what is the theme of this endgame. Answer the question, are the pawns going to be getting promoted for each side? Are there going to be promoted pawns for each side? Well, the answer to the question should be yes or no. I want you guys to find that out. Is it going to be even? Who is winning in this position? Who is better, white or black? And now press play when you're ready. When you've come up with some answers. Okay, guys, the answer is that neither white or black is better, but this is completely drawing in the future of about 10 or 15 moves in a line that goes just like this. King to c4, king to g4, capturing the pawn, king b4, and f4. King takes on a5. This is very exciting. I had a lot of fun playing this endgame. f5 and b4, f6, b3, and who's in time first? f7, b2. f8 equals queen. Yes, white is in time first, and Stockfish is just following behind with b1. Promotion. Throwing a check first. That means I get to throw a check first. And guys, in this position now, after Stockfish throws the queen back to b5 to block the attack from the queen on c5. Guys, what do we play here with white? What do? We absolutely what? Do not take, right? We can rule that out at this moment. We do not take. So what do we shoot for instead? Well, you got to throw a check, guys. If you found queen to a3 check, that's right, because king is going to b6, and after queen to f8, whoops. Let's move back for a moment. So we were here, guys, right? Throwing a check, going back, and after Stockfish throws a check, I get out of the way. Stockfish goes to h2, queen to h2, check. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of out of sorts here. Let me just get back to the main line for just a moment. Okay, queen to f8. So kind of getting a little sloppy here, but I just want to show you guys exactly how it went down. So queen h2 check, check, getting out of the way. And Stockfish is funny. He's going to put his king, he's going to put his queen on the h7 square, which I think is kind of hilarious. And as we continue, we see, okay, queen b4 check to the king. King moves to a7, repeat of moves. And guys, those in this position that we repeat moves and you just keep checking. Okay, so there's a move where I don't throw a check and Stockfish decides to push the a pawn. And I said, well, let me just keep checking now. Checks, checks, takes the pawn. Stockfish is going to take my pawn. And we're going to get in a position where we repeat moves. And that is going to be the end of the game. I want to thank everyone for participating for the final time. We're exactly 18 minutes in with Colin Heim. And this was the 6th draw in the campaign of the summer season 2022 at ISV International, U.S. Virgin Islands Chess Federation. And we use these videos for instructive purposes. Lichess.org, computer engine, Stockfish level 8, 3200 plus, and much more to come in the future, guys. And this was drawn half and half, drawn by 3-fold repetition, 4-fold repetition, 5-fold repetition. And we're going to keep going at Stockfish in the future. Everyone take care of yourselves. We're transitioning out of the hot season into the cooler season in the Southern Antilles. Best of luck and with your abilities and your improvement in chess at ISV Online International. And take care of yourselves, and much more to come next time.